inspired by those people. Hey, Joe, how you doing, bud?
Oh, shocking. Huh.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes.
Your sister is fixing the internet. Not only does she do the home improvements, Joe, she also does all the tech work, build studios, all those things.
Well,
Real queen of all trades.
Well, tell her I'll reach out to her to do the stuff around my house for her.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be real excited about that.
So what's the last
Joe,
time to spend time?
Joe, you gotta get you some of these Boulder Bear gummies. 20 milligrams caffeine per gummy, 100 milligrams in a 5 gummy pack. Great stuff. Tastes like candy, kicks like coffee. You ever watch the greatest wrestling match ever, Joe?
What's the greatest wrestling match ever?
Edge versus Randy Orton, Backlash 2020.
That's the greatest wrestling match ever?
Yeah, and it says it right on the DVD box. Look at
that. Yeah. I could do something better than want to watch, but okay, let me go with that. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't think that was the greatest wrestling match ever?
It could have been better. But that was during the whole COVID thing. But yeah,
Joe, I got a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is anything actually original anymore? Or has every bit of originality been used up?
Somewhat. I say somewhat.
Like, I mean, it's a lot of great things have already happened. And we've all seen great things. So the likelihood of being inspired by something you've seen is pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sometimes I think maybe we get inspiration from things, and maybe we didn't realize we were getting that inspiration. Like, it sits back in your brain, and it's like a dormant idea, and then something ignites that, and then maybe you think it was an original idea, but maybe you were inspired from somewhere along the way, right? Seems like that can happen. I guess, like, I know that's happened to me. You know, you think you're thinking of a thing all on your own, and then it's like, oh no, that's right, I seen this thing over there, and then that inspired my thing, right?
Yeah, like,
right, and that happened. Like, you got that a lot of wrestling, right? Ric Flair was inspired by the Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers.
That is true.
Hulk Hogan was inspired by superstar Billy Graham. And apparently Austin Idol, which didn't know that. That was new information to get this week. Austin Idol had Idolmania, and Hulk Hogan just said, yep, I'm going to steal that. His words. Hogan said Austin Idol had Idolmania, and he was like, yep, I'm going to do Hulkamania. Which Austin Idol stole it from the Beatles with Beatlemania. A crash. Knocked something over.
Oh. You know, that could be like you inspired, like, to be Oscar the Grouch.
Well, I mean, we are both puppets. So, I mean, from a, species standpoint, we have a lot of similarities. But I'm not angry. I mean, I'm a little worked up about this. But I just want to say that whenever I get inspiration from something, and it's like an instantaneous thing, I try to give credit, right? I mean, if nothing else, I would at least like the thing that inspired my thought. That makes sense. At least give something to the person who inspired you, right? And likes are free.
Okay.
You can like someone, you like someone's post, that's free, doesn't cost you nothing. Tag them in your thing that they inspired, doesn't cost you nothing. But you know what, Joe?
What's that?
There's people out there who follow other people just to get ideas. And then don't credit the person who inspired the thing. It's sad, really.
That is true.
Yeah. It gives me, doesn't really give me the warm and fuzzies. Which, warm and fuzzies in my tum-tum is a Simon Miller thing. I mean, again, inspired, right? It's good to have people who inspire you to be better. That's important. That's an important thing in life. If you're just going by like your own ideas of things, you stay the same. You don't evolve.
You don't move. You're right.
Yeah, but then to be a spectator and then to not give credit to the thing that inspires you, kind of makes you a turd. Just my opinion. That's just one puppet's opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's okay. I don't know. Just an idea. What do you think?
Hold up.
Joe's thinking?
No, I got something. There you go. In the chat for y'all to watch later.
The music got free. Oh, yeah, the Napster thing?
Yeah. There you go.
I haven't watched it. Is it good?
I started watching it today. So far, yeah, it's good.
You're going to have to mention this to Jeremy. He's got some interesting opinions on Napster and streaming music as a whole.
Yeah, I ain't going to get into details about that part just yet, but yeah.
Well, I'm going to get the big guy Jeremy in here. You guys, greatest wrestling match ever, right over here on our Smack Talk event of the show, the Smack Talk Showdown Pro Wrestling card game. Talks back to your friends for that playing back there. Right. You guys can find them over on Instagram. Polar Bear Gummies, I ate a whole pack, and they had me all jacked up.
You need to send me some. Shoot.
I can get you some of those.
Send me some.
Yeah, I'll get you some of those.
Send me some.
And, yeah, we'll get you some of those, and we got a shirt coming for you, Joe.
Okay, I can wait for the combo all to come together. I know.
There we go.
Don't eat all the berry gummies from me, okay?
Oh, you'd be excited for that. But hey, everyone, I'm going to check out. I might be back for my Wrestler of the Week. I don't know. But just remember, if someone has inspired you to do something and maybe make something better, let them know. No harm in tagging them. No harm in liking the thing that inspired you. Who knows? You might even make someone's day. Mark the Monster out. Jeremy, get in here and do your job. What? We're doing a show? Yeah, we're doing a show. What do you mean, are you doing it? It's Sunday. It's Sunday? Yeah, we were supposed to be out at 5:15. What happened? The internet was out. The internet was... Oh, man, that's going to ruin the tour. What? What tour? The world tour.
You forgot, didn't you? They're both of them.
There's going to be a world tour? No, I gotta go back. What's up, Joe?
What's up?
What was he going on about? He's going on tour? You got a world tour coming up?
I guess so. He's a world tour that I just not finding out about.
Shit, I'm gonna have to get a passport, huh?
I don't think you gotta get a passport. You might just
Does he have everything set up? Router got messed up. Internet issue. There's another monster lurking in the background over there, Joe. I don't know if you see him or not.
I see him.
What's going on, Joe?
I did a lot of cleaning today, so
Ooh.
You know, kids free, so
yeah. And Joe is kid free, everybody. He sent his daughter off to her grandparents. I'm sure she's super excited to go. Now that means Joe is willing to introduce some Polar Bear gummies into the house. He doesn't want caffeinated gummies sitting around whenever his daughter's there. He'd rather slip her the melatonin and let her take a good nap.
I ain't gonna deny that now. You can't deny that.
I'm not recommending it. Melatonin gummies weren't a thing whenever my daughter was 6. I can tell you, as 100% fact, that my grandmother used to give us cough medicine to put our asses to sleep whenever we were being annoying.
I remember them days. Oh,
Wait, did your mom and dad do that to you?
Grandma did.
Your grandma did it? Yeah, my grandma definitely did that shit. Statute of limitations is gone. She passed, so they can't lock her back up or nothing. So I think that's fine. But yeah, she would give us cough medicine, and then she'd have us play a game of see who can be the quietest or who can fall asleep first, and that person would get like $5. You ready for the bullshit part, Joe?
Let's see it.
Her ass would fall asleep first.
What?
She'd be the first one asleep. And she would stick by that rule, but she got to keep the $5. It's not fair, man. That ain't right. You can't. I don't think you can do that. Like, you can't create the rules to a game that you know you're gonna win. That's like the state lottery. That shit's not right.
At least your grandma did it a nicer way. My grandma, she would give it to us, and she would have a switch, and the switch, she would just wave it around at us, like, first one to move out of me and my sister. It was a... Oh.
Did she have you go outside and get your own switch? My grandma would do that shit. Go outside and get me something to beat you with.
Yeah. She said, make sure... What did she say? I'm going to let you two go out there and get the ones you want. Remember, you are picking the one you want, and I will use it. So,
what do you think that was? Was that psychological warfare against us as kids? Like, why were our grandparents sending us to get our own tool to get whipped with? Like, what was that about?
I think that was basically saying, no matter which one you get, it's still going to hurt.
Yeah, that's for sure. Thankfully, those times have passed in most cases, and your sister may get mad at me. She don't ever make me go outside and get my own switch for her to hit with, and I do definitely get on her nerves as much as I got on my grandparents' nerves. No doubt about that. That cannot be questioned.
I think the only difference is Mindy learned from your grandparents how to understand your crazy mind frame, so she got into it.
That might be true. Maybe she figured out how to manage it. That's
the best thing I can say.
I think you might have functional internet. Joe,
Yo, what's going on, guys?
A lot of things going on in the world of professional wrestling this week.
I know.
I want to start with a key positive, and it's this right here.
Come on.
Don't just get him out of the ring, get him out of the WWF. Because I prove, son, without a shadow of a doubt, you ain't got what it takes anymore. You sit there and you thump your Bible and you say your prayers, and it didn't get you anywhere. Talk about your Psalms, talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, I just whipped your ass.
He is Stone Cold.
On this day in 1996, Austin 3:16 was born.
You didn't have to say the year now. You didn't have to say the year.
I didn't have to say the year. But does that make you feel old knowing what year it happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing that does it. That's the we know it wasn't yesterday.
I know.
Sometimes it feels like it was yesterday, though, right?
Yeah.
On this day, 1996, Stone Cold Steve Austin won the King of the Ring and cut what was possibly, I will say in my opinion anyway, the most important wrestling promo ever.
I would say that would be the start of the promos. It would be the best start of the promo. Without right.
Do you think there's a promo better than Austin 3:16?
No. I mean, like, That was like the start of a promo without a writer. He didn't have a writer at the time.
Yeah, no one wrote that.
No one
That
wrote
just
that.
he asked Michael P.S. Hayes what Jake Roberts talked about,
Mm-hmm.
and he just went and cut that promo. And the next day, there were Austin 316 signs in the crowd.
That's my thing about it.
Like, he didn't have to work to get that over. It was over instantaneously. I don't know if anything's ever been over, boom, like that. Like, granted, the Stone Cold character was building momentum, and all his appearances on all the different shows, all the other promos, and just the way Steve Austin became who he really is turned up to 11. But Austin 316 was over overnight. Here's what's even more mind-boggling than that. Is what happened a month earlier.
Oh.
Scott Hall jumped the guardrail on Nitro.
Yeah.
It was just a month earlier. Those two things happened within a month of each other in 1996. Scott Hall jumped the guardrail, and he cut the "you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here" promo that started the NWO. Within a month of each other, we had the birth of the NWO, which maybe a lot of people don't say the NWO was born until Hogan joined at Bash at the Beach. I think, I don't.
I think it's probably born when Kevin Nash joined. That's when you can say basically it was formed in the NWO.
Yeah. Do you think the NWO would have carried the same weight and had the same impact without Hulk Hogan? Like, Hogan, no one knew, allegedly, according to Hogan in some of these stories, as we watched the Who Killed WCW, that Hall and Nash didn't know Hogan was going to come out and be the third man until he came out to be the third man. That it could have been Sting.
It was everybody thinking it was gonna be Sting.
Yeah. If it had been Sting and not Hogan, and Hogan stayed on Team WCW for this story, does it carry the same weight? Do we have the 83 weeks?
It could have been better. Think about it.
It could have been better if it had been Sting and not Hogan?
Yeah. Because you got to think
Really?
about it. If you think about it from another way, you do got Hogan as a face, but you got Sting as the face, the die-hard face of WCW.
Yeah.
And if you had him join, I would say you might get a little more boos, more shockers, but you probably wouldn't get the trash thrown in the ring like they did with Hogan.
Man, the trash in the ring it somehow made that moment infinitely more iconic, and it just became such a thing in WCW to throw trash in the ring when the NWO was cutting promos. Like, they never maybe they encouraged it a little, but it just became kind of the thing for a while. I mean, Scott Hall got hit in the head with a drink and then fixed his hair, and it somehow was cooler that he got hit with the drink.
And then you got to think about it. If Sting was in NWO, I don't think Sting would even worry about who had control over anything. Sting would probably make it more useful, more reliable to be in the NWO. And he probably wouldn't. He might win the belt, but he probably wouldn't care. He probably wouldn't have it go like a roller coaster. Like, oh, what was it? Oh, like this week. I saw back in 2000 in WCW in 2000. They said the World Heavyweight Championship was won by over 200 times. 200 people had it.
Really? They hopped that title that many times in 2000?
200 times. From David Arquette to Vince Russo. And they said the average was like you would win it 2 times a week. Average. Somebody would win it 2 times a week. At percentage-wise. I'm like, I ain't gonna argue with it. Somebody won it twice a week.
We got Extreme Fight World checking in with us live on Instagram. Thank you guys for checking us out. They got a big card coming up in July, Joe. Sunday, July 28th. It's going to be on Triller TV pay-per-view, Fight TV, Extreme Fight World. We're going to have 440 versus 440. And for anyone who doesn't know, me and Joe are both from the 440.
That is true.
Born and raised.
A lot of things happen. A lot of things happen in July. I noticed that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming up. I mean, well, we got SummerSlam coming to Cleveland first weekend of August. But we're going to have a lot of good shows coming to our area that last week of July, leading into that first weekend of August. You know what else happens that last week of July, Joe?
Oh, yeah. Somebody gets a little bit older.
I get a little bit older. What am I going to be? I turned 42. I'm going to be 42 years old, Joe. That shit's insane. Hey, you know what, man? I might be turning 42, but my daughter's 26, so I don't got no little humans running around making me all tired and making me real gray in the beard, Joe.
Oh, damn. She's 26. I thought, damn, I hope I'm 26.
Yeah, she's 26. It's my
24.
boggling. Sometimes I forget that, that me and your sister are not in our 20s. And that's how you break your foot skateboarding, by forgetting that you're not in your 20s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking. Let's see, 24, not 26, but okay, never mind.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Joe. With today being the birthday of Austin 316, and the death of who killed WCW being the talk of the town, and Austin 316 and Scott Hall jumping the rail happened within a month of each other in '96. If one of those events has to go away from history, what thing do you take away? Which thing is more important? I will ask this 2 ways. Which thing is more important to you to keep? Which thing is more important to wrestling overall to keep? The puzzled look on your face of One Shot Killers podcast. Thank you for checking in with us. The question that Joe is currently struggling with is, what event do you keep? One has to go. Do you keep the Austin 316 promo that happened today in 1996? Or do you keep Scott Hall jumping the rail in WCW, which happened in May of 96 to start forming the NWO? What thing does Joe want to keep? One has to go. One stays.
All right, if I had to pick,
You got to pick.
I'll keep 316. I'll keep 316.
Really?
Really. I would keep the 316.
Do you keep 316 because it's more important to you? Or are you keeping 316 because you think it was more important to the world pro wrestling?
I'll keep it 316 because there can always be another NWO anytime, any other type of flex. But with the 316, it gave you and other wrestlers a way shoot a promo, making promo skills better. It gave you a character, not just a talking person saying something. It gave you how to be your true self, your true character, and what made a professional wrestler feared. Love him or hate him, it made that person who you want to be. And without that promo, you probably wouldn't have a good wrestling match. You probably wouldn't have a good. You probably wouldn't have a good shit talker looking you right in the face. You'll probably have just a normal conversation like me and you doing right now.
I see your points. I do. This is a difficult one for me. Like, because I'm split. Because for me personally, Austin 316 means more. That promo, I bet you I've watched that promo. Him walking up there to the throne that he never sits in, never puts on the robe, never puts on the crown, none of that. He doesn't do any of that shit. I've watched him cut that promo, man, I will bet you tens of thousands of times. I will say at least thousands of times before YouTube existed, tens of thousands of times since the existence of YouTube, and however other means of seeing that promo. I had all the VHS tapes. I had the Austin 316 VHS, and my grandma bought it for me from Walmart. I wore that tape, man, onion skin thin, watching that shit over and over and over again. But, without the NWO, there's no DX. I know you say you could have had a different faction at a different time, but, you know, and then who killed WCW docuseries from Vice TV? They mentioned about how the NWO felt real. It felt real. You know, Kevin Nash, I shared last week, they went off the air with the highway patrol in the ring with their hands on their guns. They went off the air. Mm-hmm. It felt real. I don't think any other faction gives you that in the NWO in that moment in time. That who's going to join? Are they loyal? Are they this? It got blown up. It got really bad at some points. But when it was cool, man, there was nothing cooler. And without it, we don't have DX. Without the NWO, we don't get the Bullet Club. And without the Bullet Club, we never get the Elite. And without the Elite, we don't have AEW. And without AEW, WWE would never be as good as it is today. I think the NWO might be the more important thing. And I don't like that I feel that way. Because Eric Bischoff gets credit for creating NWO. I don't like giving the devil his due. Makes me uncomfortable. Just don't like it.
But the devil got you. The devil made you pick.
Hey, here's one thing that I've always said, and I think you will agree, is that when someone's right, regardless of how I may feel about the someone, I will give them credit. And I will agree with the people who I may not always see eye to eye with. But I never let that cloud what's factual, what the realities are. Let's move into some current shit, Joe. AEW Dynamite.
I can see this.
What you think of the show?
Okay. One, I don't think Pac was supposed to win.
You don't think so?
I don't think
You think that roll up
to win.
back and forth situation? You think that was Pac wasn't supposed to get that 3 count?
No, because this is why. Because I watched it. Well, when they started doing a little roll up, I turned away, took a little sip, because I was thirsty. I'm like, okay, I got a couple more minutes. They kept rolling, doing the roll. So I turned to the sip. Then you hit a 1, 2, 3. Then I turned back and looked at it. You see Pac's face looking all shocked. You see Cardio's face looking shocked. I'm like, who won? Then they pointed to Pac. And then they both looking all crazy. So I kept rewinding it over. Like, I may have watched that like 5 times. I really, I did that. I watched it, rewind it like 5 times to see what did I miss here. And then you see him trying to get his arm up at the last second. Then it happened in time with a 3 count. I kept watching it again.
I do see what you're saying. I mean, it did look a little messy. It definitely looked messy.
And then, after like the 5th time, I watched it. You can see the reaction on Pac's face. Then you see, even in Daniel Bryan's face, like, whoa, it happened. Even the commentary, you can see their voice, like, they had a brief pause.
Yeah.
And they just went on.
And back and forth between Claudio and Bryan Danielson, I thought was weird at the end of that.
Yeah.
I would imagine we're going to slowly see the breakup of Blackpool Combat Club.
Mm-hmm. That's why, like, he wasn't supposed to win. Yeah, that whole night, I just kept watching it over and over. I don't think he's supposed to win.
Yeah. I think, man, you might be right.
And also, the ref, if you watch the ref's face, he just went like, gave him a 3 count, point over at Pac. And he had to keep his face up like, he won.
And you might be right. What do you think of MJF and Bruce starting off the show?
It was pretty decent. It was good. I would say it should have been a little bit later on in the show.
It was a weird thing to have start the show.
Yeah.
I think the hope was that was going to hook people right out the gate and get them to stick around.
Yeah.
It seems as though that wasn't the case, and it seems to have the internet wrestling community up in arms about ratings and attendance and all that lovely nonsense that I can't for the life of me figure out why any wrestling fan cares.
The rating is what keeps the show on the air. That's what we're saying.
Sure,
and
to a degree, yeah.
Some people believe ratings keep the show on. Some people believe without the ratings, it'd be like saying that show could lose that TV spot we're signed to for like, whatever, 3 years now? 3 years now?
Something like that. It seems as though Warner Brothers Discovery isn't concerned about those ratings at all. I mean, it chalked up to, just one day, big deal. There was a post that was shared by Wrestling News talking about this week's attendance for all the wrestling events, and that SmackDown led with the highest attendance. They had 14,698 tickets sold for SmackDown in Rosemont, Illinois, which gets tagged as being in Chicago. That was followed by Raw in Corpus Christi, Texas, 7,784 tickets sold. AEW Dynamite in Fairfax, Virginia, 4,326 tickets were sold. and AEW Collision coming to us from Allentown, Pennsylvania, had 2,951 tickets sold. On top of that, Dynamite's being tagged with having like 500,000 people viewing it live on Wednesday night. Now, granted, Nielsen ratings do eventually take into account some parts of streaming, some parts of DVRing. I believe it only counts things that were DVR involving TiVo. I don't know if that's still accurate. I know at one point that was the case. I want to give some perspective on the attendance situation and also the TV ratings. So in 2017, the Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor 11 was held. That was the 11th Supercard of Honor pay-per-view event that was produced by Ring of Honor. It took place on Saturday, April 1st, 2017, at the Lakeland Center, and it was in Lakeland, Florida. It had an attendance of 3,500 people. This event set a Ring of Honor attendance record. At 3,500 people was an attendance record for Ring of Honor in 2017. And I believe that put the company in existence for about 15 years, give or take.
2000. Yeah, let's say 2000. Yeah, about 50. Nah,
right around there. 13 years, something like that. Their record attendance was set at 3,500 people in 2017. At this time, Ring of Honor was the number 2 wrestling promotion in the world. Without question. I mean, someone can they can try to argue New Japan, but that wasn't the case. Ring of Honor was certainly number 2 wrestling promotion in North America in 2017. I would say possibly in the world in 2017. Impact Wrestling was not a close second to WWE. They were not even a close second to Ring of Honor as far as relevancy in the space of pro wrestling. Can you think of what was going on in Impact Wrestling in 2017? I sure as hell can't. We may have had broken Matt Hardy by then, possibly. I think that was 2018. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I might be wrong again.
Oh, you had the business.
Yeah.
With Bobby Lashley, MVP, Kingston, and your boy Eli Drake. If everybody knows who Eli Drake is.
So, how is it that if you go back and if you try to go and look at any fan forums from back then, there's such a huge success, 3,500 people for Ring of Honor, it was amazing, and there was all the talk of the Ring of Honor in 2018 is going to do great things, probably do 5,000, and we all know what happened in August of 2018. Cody and the Bucks and New Japan partner with Ring of Honor to put on All In. They do 10,000 people. But in 2017, the attendance for the number 2 wrestling promotion in the world was 3,500 people. Everything happening in wrestling today is a win for everybody. The idea and the notion that AEW is going out of business and that it's all this terrible stuff because they're not putting 14,000 people in an arena. Raw is the A show. And Raw did half the attendance of SmackDown. And no one's calling that a failure. That's kind of interesting, right? Raw had the return of Seth Rollins, and it did half the attendance of SmackDown.
I would just say because the people in Chicago, they know CM Punk going to be there, so that's why they.
Yeah, the Allstate Arena, bigger arena, sure. If memory serves me correctly, when Punk returned to the Allstate Arena with AEW, they put 20,000 people in that arena. my point is none of that matters, man. Like, Ring of Honor was doing great matches in 2017 in front of 3,500 people, setting a record.
Yeah, all that major
Like,
stuff was gone at the time.
yeah. So, like at that time, 2017, Ring of Honor had been defeated of a lot of its top people, and they had all been in NXT. Black and Gold branded NXT was a WWE Ring of Honor. I mean, it was dominated by people who helped put Ring of Honor on the map. And it was, again, April 1st, 2017, Ring of Honor set an attendance record of 3,500 people. And it was such an incredible win. So everyone getting all worked up about that. And you know what the TV ratings were for that show? Not a damn soul. Nobody watched that shit on TV. Who paid for a Ring of Honor pay-per-view in 2017? I didn't. I don't know how I'm sure I seen it after the fact. I watched it streamed on YouTube or something. I know I definitely didn't pay them whatever it cost to watch that on whatever streaming platform it was on in 2017. I would imagine. Shit, I don't even know what it would have been on. Maybe probably Honor Club or something. And whatever butchered fashion Honor Club existed in 2017. Probably could have paid for it on YouTube, I would guess. I don't know. But again, it happened in front of 3,500 people. Yeah. Doing 4,500, 5,000 people for AEW Dynamite, it being the number 2 wrestling promotion, like that gap between number 1 and number 2 is always going to be significant. And every wrestling fan needs to understand that no one's going to come close to WWE. It's not a goal of any company to match WWE. Bischoff was the only person stupid enough to think he was going to do that. Sure, he did it for 83 weeks. But it's not going to happen. That's not realistic. Shouldn't be anyone's stretch goal. It should be to be a damn fine number 2 as far as attendance and ratings and all these things. You're not going to match the conglomerate that is WWE. And no one should be trying to.
Nah, not really. No. They should start. Right? Most companies should be like TNA. Just start from the bottom. Make a name for themselves.
I have a firm belief in most business, pretty much all business. Throughout my career, I've always felt this way. Ignore your competition. Pretend they don't exist. Much like how Vince McMahon ran WWE for decades. Don't worry about what they do. Just do what you do. I think Paul Heyman had a great philosophy in ECW. Don't try to do what they do because you can't. Do what you do and do it better than anybody else. He knew he couldn't compete with the production quality. He knew he couldn't have all the pyro. What he could have was he could play Metallica boombox into a microphone and have Sandman spit beer in the crowd. He could do that. He couldn't have the greatest seamstress creating elaborate costumes for his wrestlers. But he could put people through a table. He could buy tables. He could do that. AEW is never going to put on the variety show that is a Raw or a SmackDown to the quality at which WWE is going to be able to do it. Nor should they ever try to. What they can do is put on great wrestling matches. They don't have Hollywood writers writing storylines for them because in AEW, the wrestling is the story. Mm-hmm. Swerve Strickland, Will Ospreay. What's the story? The story is I'm better than you. And that is the root of all stories in pro wrestling, right? Who's better? Who should be champion? Who should be the top guy?
I'm going to tell you this. I watched that maybe twice. And from the way it sounds like, I think Swerve going to The only reason why
I agree with you.
I want to tell you why. Because Swerve in that promo, Swerve made it personal. He told him he wasn't ready, and he said he wasn't ready to be on the road to be a champion. I am. He makes the sacrifices. You don't.
What did you think of that? Like that part of that promo, the calling Will out for not making the sacrifice. I really like that. I like that it was a throwback to the Triple H comment a little bit. I like that it was a throwback to Will Ospreay doesn't want to use the Tiger Driver 91, so he won't take the risk of using that move and hurting somebody. I thought that promo was profoundly well done. I will say, I would have done something different, though. When Ospreay came back into the ring, he should have attacked Swerve Strickland.
He should. I thought it was, too.
If it was just blitz into the ring and tackle him and just start throwing punches, if it was blitz into the ring, hit him with the hidden blade, whatever it was, there should have been some physicality there. I do like that Nana's the one who stepped in and calmed down. Shout out to Prince Nana and Prince Nana Coffee. But I agree with you. Swerve Strickland should win this match with Will Ospreay. And with that, I'm going to make a prediction. I do believe Will Ospreay will be world champion in AEW. I do kind of feel like they're making him the main character on Dynamite, at least. But I don't think he's going to beat Swerve. And I don't think he's going to be a world champion until All In 2025. I think they should wait that long to make Will Ospreay the world champion. I think All In 2024 should probably be Bryan Danielson being world champion. And then not let him retire. If he can't retire, he wanted to retire and he can't because he's world champion, and have him keep winning until you get to All In 2025, and then Will Ospreay can beat him. There you go, everybody. I just booked the next year and a half of AEW for you. Tony Khan, you can send a check to Mark the Monster at Don't Say the F Word because puppets don't pay taxes. I think. Do puppets pay taxes? They shouldn't have to pay taxes.
I believe it's like what they call it. Whoever the puppet is under. So let's just say it's under the white sister's name. She'll have to pay like a royalty.
You're right. Your sister does have custody of Mark, so she is responsible for his income and all of his taxes. Good to know. Good to know.
There you go.
So talk a little bit about, what's the potential for the AEW World Title down the road. We both think Swerve's going to maintain at Forbidden Door. We also had Cody Rhodes got attacked on SmackDown by a Bloodline and the debuting Jacob Fatu. Story goes, Cody Rhodes currently has 2 broken ribs.
Seen that.
So I'm going to ask you this question, and I want you to know that I have another one that's going to follow immediately. First question, Joe.
All right.
If Cody Rhodes were to suffer an injury where he could not compete, what's the backup plan? Who is on deck to step into Cody Rhodes' shoes? Or do we do the Seth thing and just don't have him wrestle for a little bit till he gets through it? What if it's something where it's like, hey, this isn't an option? What if he blows a pec out again? Who's on deck to be the main guy in WWE? Not just because Cody's the guy in WWE right now. Damian Priest is not the guy. He's just not. Cody is. Cody gets hurt. Who steps up?
AJ.
Oh,
AJ.
could AJ be the guy?
You need somebody on SmackDown. So
Yep.
technically, out of all the SmackDown rosters, you'll need AJ for the time being.
I was thinking Randy.
Randy, he kind of like AJ, like kind of like Cody right now. Got to do like less matches, not do a lot of heavy.
Yeah.
AJ can still do it.
I have a curveball for you.
Curveball.
Let's say, God forbid, we don't want anyone to get injured or anything, but let's say something happens. Boom. Non-storyline, Cody's out. We have to do something to name a champion. Whatever they do. Tournament. That probably a tournament, right? We'd probably go tourney. What if Carmelo Hayes steps up? Could Carmelo Hayes actually be him?
No, I don't think about that. I don't think about that when he won against Randy. I know.
Right? He beat Randy Orton. He pinned Randy Orton on SmackDown. Could Carmelo be the guy if he had to?
Well, I hadn't been. I didn't know who all gonna be in the Money in the Bank until I see that Carmelo. I'm like, Carmelo could win that Money in the Bank. He might need that too.
Yeah, Carmelo could win that Money in the Bank. Now let me ask you this. That's the hypothetical. If Cody gets hurt, who steps up, carry the show and the company on their back? Aside from a returning Roman Reigns, which we'll see when that happens. Solo says Roman ain't ever coming back. So that's a whole different thing. We got Jacob Fatu. There's a werewolf loose in WWE now, so there's a whole different problem for everybody.
Yeah.
I have this question for you. We have Swerve Strickland as AEW World Champion. Cody Rhodes is WWE Undisputed Champion. Damian Priest is WWE Heavyweight Champion. Who beats these guys? Let's get the pencils, Joe. We will let's take this pencil here. Got the pencil. We're restarting Swerve. All right, let's start with Swerve.
We're gonna start with Swerve.
Who beats Swerve Strickland for the AEW title?
I would give it to. I'll give it to MJF.
You say MJF beats Swerve Strickland?
Swerve Strickland, yeah. They ain't fought yet. I ain't seen a match with them fought yet.
Yeah. How soon do you think? That's not necessarily part of this game, but how soon? When does MJF beat Swerve Strickland in your mind? Because whoever wins the Owen Hart Cup gets a title shot at Swerve Strickland at All In at Wembley. Now, I think that's Daniel Bryan, or Bryan Danielson, whatever. I think that's who's facing Swerve, or whoever is champion. They could do something crazy. Swerve could drop that belt on Dynamite.
I say October. Somewhere in Halloween. I say October.
So you think Swerve will maintain through All In? You think he beats whoever wins the Owen Hart Cup? Okay. I think it's a tough one because Wembley's coming up like really fast, and I think that Bryan Danielson should win at Wembley and become AEW World Champion. So I don't know if I even book Swerve to even be champion. And that's August. Like, I might have Swerve. If I had the pencil, Swerve might have to drop that title quickly to get it on to someone else. for it to be. I don't know, man. Do I have Bryan Danielson beat Swerve Strickland? I don't know, but I definitely have Bryan Danielson win at Wembley. You know who I'd like to have beat Swerve Strickland?
Okay.
Hangman. I just don't know how you get there. Like, I don't know if you have Hangman cost him against Ospreay, and then Swerve comes out on Dynamite. He goes, I want Hangman. I want you now. And you have the Elite help Hangman take that belt off Swerve. Then Hangman carries it into Wembley for Bryan Danielson to beat Hangman.
Mm-hmm.
That's a way to get there. It's a lot of turns, but it's a way to get there. Okay. Who dethrones Damian Priest?
Well, I think it's too soon. But
You think it's too soon for Damian Priest to lose?
I think the person I pick is too soon. I'll be
Who you got?
I got Seth. I think it's too
You think Seth beats? Do you think Seth beats Damian at Money in the Bank?
I just got this odd feeling it's going to happen. Sad, but yeah, unless for some odd reason Judgment Day just jumps in and helps him. But he said he don't need the Judgment Day to help him win. So I feel bad, but I think Damon should win and just go on to face Seth again at SummerSlam in Cleveland.
SummerSlam is Gunther. SummerSlam he's facing Gunther.
Oh yeah. Well, it's gonna be some bad blood then. Probably bad blood. But yeah. Well, yeah. Never mind.
I mean, do you think if Damian Priest survives Seth Rollins, would you have Damian Priest beat Gunther? Like, it kind of sucks that Gunther's getting his world title match so soon, because I don't know how you have Gunther lose this.
I do want to see Gunther as a champion. He had that IC.
I want him to be world champion, but man, I just don't know if I want him to be world champion yet, because I don't know how to take the belt off of Gunther. Like, I know how to get the belt onto Gunther. That's easy. How do you get the belt off of Gunther? Like, what's the exit strategy? It took 666 days to get the IC title off of Gunther, which somehow the Devil's number played into WrestleMania, and I don't even understand how the hell they got that to work. But
I don't either.
in a perfect world, you know who I have beat Damian Priest for that world title?
All right, perfect world. What's that?
Dominic Mysterio. I have Dom beat Damian Priest for that world title. That's how I do it. I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that. I mean, but think about the heat. Think about the crowd reaction if you have Dominic Mysterio beat Damian Priest to become world champion. Do you get down the Money in the Bank? I don't know. I don't know how we get down Money in the Bank. I don't know how we get there. But now, who do I think takes it off of him? I think it's Gunther. I think Gunther beats Damian Priest at SummerSlam. I think he survives Seth somehow.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, Joe.
Go there.
That's it. This is the tough one. This is the closing the show question right here. Everyone live on Instagram. If you're not live on Instagram, you're missing your opportunity to be involved in this. So make sure you find us on Instagram, follow the show, get notified when we go live. So if you're on YouTube or Spotify, thank you, but you don't get to give us, so drop it in the comments, do whatever. Who should beat Cody Rhodes for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship of the world?
I got the answer for you.
You do?
I do.
Who do you got?
I got the SmackDown winner of the Money in the Bank who cashes in on him at SummerSlam in Cleveland.
Who's that going to be?
whoever SmackDown Money Bank winner gonna be.
You can't go. You got to give me a person, Joe.
Okay.
Okay, you guys hear this shit?
Right,
Joe's just trying to go with someone. It's gonna somebody. We're gonna have someone's gonna win. Like someone's gonna cash it out.
Okay. I say it's gonna be Carmelo. He catches it at SummerSlam.
So you think we're taking the belt off of Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam in Cleveland?
You want the hype?
Is this what you think is happening, or is this how you would book it?
This is how I would book it, because you want the hype to be not. You want the hype to stop being around Roman. You want them to talk about something else. If you do that, that'd be like the hype.
Is there something? Is there something that actually gets them to stop saying we want Roman?
Yeah.
I don't know if there is, man.
If they have it at SummerSlam, Carmelo Hayes does it. You get all the hype. The internet, the wrestling community goes crazy because Carmelo won. He beat Cody. Then you got like Roman slowly just dropping down a little bit from being the top of the century. But they're going to maintain the focus on what is mainly important, that title, who has it, and how that person won.
And I wouldn't take the title off of Cody at SummerSlam, nor do I think they're going to. I don't think you know who I think takes the belt off of Cody in time? I think it's Roman. I think it's either Roman or it's Jay. And I think we get there by I think we get there by Cody becoming a heel.
See? I keep telling you. See?
Because I'm going to be honest with you, Joe. I think Cody Rhodes is a heel. I think Cody Rhodes has always been a heel, and I think he's pretending to be a hero. And I think we will see that evolve over the next year as we start seeing Cody being willing to cross the line to remain champion. We've seen it with AJ Styles. Sure, he asked his mom if it was okay to hit AJ with the stairs, but that's what a heel does. A heel hits someone after they quit. Now, you could say that's the John Cena move, and I will argue maybe John Cena wasn't always the hero. What if Cody's... Because remember, Cody left WWE, and he came out in Ring of Honor, and he came out in New Japan, and he came out in WCPW. Cody Rhodes was not a babyface. Especially when he went blonde. Cody in the suit on the Indies was a heel move. Cody as part of the Bullet Club was a heel. When they formed the Elite, they were heels. When they booted Adam Cole and welcomed Marty Scurll, Marty was the villain. Cody Rhodes isn't becoming a heel, Joe. Cody's always been the bad guy.
I guess you have a point there.
Maybe. I don't know. I could be totally off base. Who the hell knows? I've been drinking a lot of coffee.
You can.
But everyone, thank you for checking us out live on Instagram. What is that? You hear that?
All right, we good.
All right. What was that? Is there a ghost? We didn't get to your trivia this week, Joe.
Oh, it's next week.
Next week is trivia.
Next week.
Next week or Raw preview show? Well, Raw preview show is tomorrow. We'll figure out when trivia will be. Thank you, everyone, for checking us out live on Instagram this Sunday night.
Before we go,
Here we go.
Here we go. So the next trivia. Just remember this, y'all. It is going to be everything that Mr. German here likes. See?
Everything that I like. This trivia is going to be based on things that I like.
It's based off people, persons, match, and match types. So keep the match types in mind.
So whenever I don't know any of these answers, it's going to be ultra embarrassing, right? Good to know, Joe. Ooh, we got a thumbs up. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for checking us out live on Instagram. I apologize for Mark being angry in the beginning, but hey, if someone inspires you, just say, hey, you inspire me. Thank you. I get inspired by a lot of folks. Black mask design, great artwork, inspiring. Every so often, the crew have busted open. They inspire me to talk about stuff. Going in Raw has great subject matter sometimes. They inspire me to talk about things. So if someone's out there inspiring you, give them credit for their inspiration. Don't just take their shit and move on with life like it didn't happen. Thank you, everyone, for checking us out live on Instagram. We're Don't Say the F Word. We are a pro wrestling combat sports podcast. We do not use the F word when we talk about professional wrestling. Don't let your friends use it either. We're out.
Out there.